You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
It all sounds like some bad movie.
My challenge to you was Little Man.
I need to ask you. I thought
Keenan Ivory Wayans directed.
I thought it was Little Big Man.
You wished it was Little Big Man.
Yeah, I wish.
No, it was. It's directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans, obviously of In Living Color, and I actually didn't know that until I recorded the trailer so that I could play it. After we're done with our little intro here.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that it was a Keenan Ivory Wayans film because normally, I not that his films are good, I just never really thought of them as bad either. Like, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is one of my absolute favorite 80s films.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's one of my absolute, I just love that movie or that type of film. I just laugh my ass off every time I see it. That's just, I don't know. You don't agree?
No, it was. It's not one of my favorite films. I'm not a. But then again, Keenan Ivory Wayans has done.
That was a bullshit goal.
His fair amount of shit.
Right.
I mean, don't forget, before Little Man, he did White Chicks. Screenplay. He wrote the screenplay for that.
Which I think we've talked about. Once it goes from screenplay to screen, who knows what they did with that?
Yeah.
Just the fact that he came up with the idea of both of his brothers dressing up as white women. I mean, that's bad enough.
Kind of creepy, really.
It was really creepy.
A Low Down Dirty Shame never really did anything either.
No, but I actually thought that was an okay film.
Again, I think okay. It comes when I think of Keenan Ivory Wayans film, I think okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
But this is all sorts of bad.
Now, pray tell.
Mm-hmm.
What possessed you
to challenge you to it?
Yeah, how did this come up?
Because what is her name? Something Borstein.
Yeah.
She was in Catwoman.
That's it?
And it was just an actor connection.
So you never seen it, and you just picked it.
Oh, I had seen most of it.
Oh, you had?
I had seen a lot of it on cable, flipping through channels. I've caught pretty much the whole film on numerous occasions, just like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes here.
Now, see...
I've pretty much seen the whole film. I just
myself,
rewatched it. I rewatched it today just so I can get it fresh in my head.
See, now, there's a phrase that should never be uttered. I rewatched Little Man.
Yeah.
That shouldn't come into play in a conversation.
It shouldn't.
I can honestly say that when you mentioned the challenge, I knew of the film and remembered that it had come out in the past, and that's as far as my involvement went. I'd never seen... I couldn't have even told you I saw a trailer. I just knew the film was out there. I think I saw a movie poster once. That was it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how you get in a situation where you're watching parts of this. And whatever that situation is, you should reevaluate yourself.
You're probably right.
I mean, you're treading in the territory here that's not healthy. So the plot, if you want to call it that, a wannabe dad mistakes a vertically challenged criminal, that's because that's a funny way of saying midget, on the lam as his newly adopted son.
Yes.
All right. What's the concept of this movie? The concept is, let's get, was it Marlon Wayans? Who plays
Marlon Wayans and Shawn Wayans.
Marlon Wayans plays the midget.
Yes, he does.
the concept is let's use the wonders of CGI to make Marlon seem like he's 2 feet tall.
Which they stole from Kung Pao, by the way. You ever see the extras from Kung Pao where they showed the original film and then they showed Steve Odekirk, like his face being pasted on?
On what?
In the scenes from Kung Pao.
But
All those old scenes from the Kung Fu film were existing, and they CGI'd his face on top of the other character in a lot of those scenes.
I thought you meant the midget part. I was like, where's the fucking midget in that? No, okay, no, I got you.
Oh, no. Well, they did the same thing with Marlon Wayans, where they just took his face and they just CGI'd it to a midget. Mm-hmm. And Kung Pao did it first, is all I'm saying.
But even the midget's not actually that small, right?
No, see, that's the thing.
They make it even smaller.
They make it look. They make him look like he's like baby small in some scenes, and then in other scenes he looks a lot bigger.
Right. So whenever they can get away with shrinking him more, where he's not actually interacting with somebody, they make him smaller.
Like when they're outside playing football, he looks a lot bigger, but in the doctor's office, he looks a lot smaller, and then when she picks him up, he looks like an infant.
Right. So, but with this kind of film, I hate to be a stickler for continuity. But
well, how about we play the trailer? Then we can really get into it because there is a lot. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but we could if we wanted to.
Right, get the trailer over with real quick.
I'm going to get it over with.
Get it over with.
All right, I'm going to get it over with. We'll see when we come back. That was the trailer. And, as far as a trailer goes, just listening to the trailer is bad enough. Pretty goddamn bad. Just saying.
Oh, this is interesting. Adam Sandler is becoming Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I noticed that. He did. Adam Sandler did a CD back in the 90s called "What the Hell Is Wrong with Me?" And he did a lot of voices on that CD as women. One is his mother. I think one was his grandmother. I think another one was like his aunt or some shit like that. But he did enough voices as women in that CD. And the voice he does for his sister in this film, Jack and Jill, is the exact same fucking voice from 15 years ago.
It's the Eddie Murphy syndrome. I'm not funny anymore, so let me start putting on funny costumes.
I guarantee you this film does well.
Oh, no, sure. Just like Coming to America did great. And it was just Eddie Murphy dressing up as different people.
There's a big difference between Coming to America and this.
Okay, how about Nutty Professor?
That
just him in a fat suit.
Yeah, okay.
And then him as his whole family, and then fart jokes, and there you go. Anyway, speaking of bad comedies, Little Man.
Little Man.
So the concept is let's paste Marlon Wayans' face on a midget.
Yep.
And have him act like a baby.
Yep.
And have him like mug at the camera every single chance.
Now, the thing that pisses me off a lot, and of course you were saying about continuity and all that, who's buying this? Who's after they take this baby to the doctor, and he's got a full mouth, bridge work, and a tattoo. Who the fuck is buying that this is not a baby?
Okay.
Or still is a baby.
I hate the
Who's buying it?
Well, if you want to talk about logic, then you'd have to wonder how they find a baby on the doorstep and don't call the authorities ever.
Right.
I mean, but let's not ascribe too much
well,
logic.
They have an out with that because they say that social services is closed for the weekend.
Right, because that happens.
And they said, well, we were thinking about having a baby.
Does that happen? Does child services actually close for the weekend?
No. They don't close for the weekend.
No.
But they said, well, let's just keep them for the weekend, and first thing Monday morning, we'll take them to social services, and we'll have them find them a home. Because they're saying, let's see if we're any good at this parent stuff.
And then decide, let's keep them.
That's, to be honest... As crazy as it sounds, that's the part that I believe the most.
No,
that
you still have to go through something, to legitimize the fact that you just kept the baby.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about who's buying it, I'm asking who's buying that you just keep the baby.
Well, they didn't plan on keeping the baby just
Right.
for the weekend.
Okay. Now here,
Just for the weekend.
this film is like, what is it with films that have like babies that they're just not funny? This is like Super Babies. I didn't laugh once.
Let's put it this way. For me, the funniest part of the film was the David Alan Grier stuff in the restaurant where he keeps coming out with the keyboard.
Yeah, even that
And it
was
never got that funny again.
even that.
And I'm not saying it was knee-slapping funny. I'm just saying I like David Alan Grier, and I just think he's a genuinely funny person. So when he's coming out
All right.
to these shitty songs with the keyboard, it made me chuckle a little bit.
You know what? I agree with you that he is genuinely funny, and I don't like him that much to actually make me laugh at what he was doing there.
Right.
What's
But
happening?
you got to also
here
remember,
is
it's the
they
beginning
made
of the film. It's the beginning
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
movie. It has, at the very, very beginning, you're watching it and you're saying, all right, this could be funny. And then that comes out, for me anyway, and I'm watching it and I'm like, all right, that wasn't that bad. And then it just snowballs.
Now, has Shawn Wayans? I didn't even look to see if Shawn Wayans has starred in any films before.
If he starred in any movies?
Yeah, maybe White Chicks. Okay, Scary Movie. Because he doesn't act
He's-
like
he's-
he's ever.
He's almost always with his brother.
Yeah, but he doesn't actually act, does he?
Not really.
I mean, there's no like. I mean, Marlon Wayans. Yeah, okay. Maybe I didn't care for him in this, but he can still actually act. I mean, as a comedic actor, he can act. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
He's not winning
he was in
Oscars. He's not
Requiem
winning
for-
Oscars. Yeah. Oh, actually,
He could have
win an
taken his career, and I mentioned this when I challenged you to Little Man. I really thought he was going to take his career in a completely different direction. Excuse me.
Oscar. Oh, damn it, man.
Let me get some water here.
But what I'm saying is he could actually act. Sean,
If he wants to,
Doesn't
yes.
right, but Sean doesn't seem to have that capability.
No, he really doesn't.
Really, really doesn't. And even
Keenan.
what's her name? No, what's her
Oh.
name? Kerry Washington?
Yes.
She
She played his wife.
yeah, between the two of them, there's really no talent there.
No,
Forget chemistry. Forget chemistry. There's no talent.
none.
None
There
whatsoever.
really is none.
So the whole movie's hinged on the ugly baby routine.
And
I
then
have
you
no
have Tracy Morgan every once
Oh,
in a while.
Thank you for reminding me that this is a perfect example of why I keep saying Tracy Morgan is not fucking funny.
My
and
wife
someone
can't.
please-
She can't stand him.
With good reason.
Yeah.
Would someone, honestly, I'm open for anybody to come forth. It's like Dane Cook. Please, show me something where he's actually funny.
I got to be honest. I hate Dane Cook. I always have. And when he started to blow up,
He's not fucking funny.
right, when he started to blow up and he became this huge, selling out 20, 30,000 seat, arenas and football stadiums. And it's just like, why is this happening? Why is this? He's not funny.
No, it's not. And it's the same thing with Tracy Morgan. They both have the same thing. They're both personalities. They're both
Well, I think-
engaging. If
I
you
think-
put both of them in a room, what?
No, I was just going to, I think
saying if you-
people,
I'm going to stop. You go.
I'm trying to talk when you're not talking. That's what
I know.
I'm trying
Let me
to
finish.
do.
Let me finish then.
Go ahead.
I'll just finish then. If you put them
Okay.
both, you put both of those guys in a room full of people they don't know. They will eventually have everybody circled around them while they're telling stories or whatever. They're not funny. They're engaging. They're humor. They're not comedians.
No.
They're not fucking funny. There's nothing. I mean, the only difference is I think Dane Cook has more of a presence, more of a delivery. He's got more of a charisma. Where
But
Tracy Morgan
not by
just,
much.
well, no, I think Dane Cook actually has charisma, but with Tracy Morgan, all he is just a clown, and
Yeah.
not a very good one. And,
No. In the
and-
beginning of his career, I thought he was trying to mimic or rip off, if you would say, Jim Carrey. He did this terrible film with Dennis Rodman. I can't remember the name of it. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care. It was like they were undercover, or Dennis Rodman was like like an undercover FBI James Bond type guy, and Dane Cook was like his partner, and it had the one comedian something Panette. See, now I gotta look it up. Look what you did to me.
It wasn't Tracy Morgan, was it?
No. I'm talking about Dane Cook.
Oh, Dane Cook.
I'm saying he's in the beginning of his career.
Oh.
It was, are you ripping off Jim Carrey or not?
We're talking about Tracy Morgan.
We were just talking about Dane Cook.
No, I just used him as an example of saying here's somebody else who has all this attention as a brilliant comedian, and he's not fucking funny, and I don't understand it. And this movie's, you watch this film, if you laugh once at Tracy Morgan, then you might as well watch America's Funniest Home Video reruns, because that's the level of the humor here. This is crotch shots.
Crotch shots.
This is like, oh, he slapped me again. This is someone acting stupid for the camera, and that's nothing more. There's nothing to it. And Chaz Palminteri, really, is this how far you sunk? Chaz, I mean, Chaz. It's okay. I understand not, saying okay. Not every film I do has to be serious. You have to work at some level. And I'm sure you probably are friends with some of these people. At what level you just say no?
Yeah. I don't know. Chaz Palminteri. He's done some pretty bad movies too.
I'm just saying this is where you stop. Yeah. And I mean, where else can you go with this film?
There's really nowhere else. I mean, the plot is paper thin.
There are a lot of talented people in this movie.
Yes, there are. You'd be surprised at how many people they actually got for this film.
Right. And there's a couple of them from Mad TV, and there's a whole bunch of them from In Living Color. And Saturday Night Live, a couple of them.
Saturday Night Live, couple of Saturday Night Live alumni.
There's all this comedic talent circling this film, and none of them ever managed to actually elicit a chuckle or a smile.
This is correct.
It's scary.
It's very scary. Even...
What do you think? What was the unfunniest part of the film?
The unfunniest part of the film.
The unfunniest part.
Probably, and it's just because I'm a big hockey person, probably the hockey stuff.
Yeah, what's up with that? First of all, what kind of degenerate would be dumb enough or insane enough to take their child to a hockey game?
Are you making fun of me?
I'm joshing with you, sir. That scene came out immediately. I said, I must make fun of Joey now.
You know what? His character in the film is probably...
Joey, obviously I don't mean that.
No, I know that. Sure you do.
I do not.
He's supposed to be somewhere around a year old, maybe a year and a half old, because he's walking, and that's generally about the age children walk. Mm-hmm. I took my son to a hockey game when he was 7 months old, and that didn't go over so well.
With who?
With him.
Okay.
It was just too loud.
Well, yeah.
Well, the thing is, during the first period of the game, a couple of goals were scored. It got loud. He didn't see it as a big deal. Did not care.
So what?
Second period rolls around. They scored, I think, 2 or 3 more goals. That's when it was a problem.
So why was this the unfunniest scene for you?
Just because nobody's noticing that he's drinking the beer. And they're making a big deal about, oh, he's a little kid drinking beer. And the guy next to him is, you drank my beer. And he's like, no, I didn't. And he doesn't believe him. And it's just the kid obviously would have like insane beer breath because he just drank 3 16 or 20-ounce cups of beer.
Okay. See,
and the fact that it's 2 hockey teams that they make it like they're professional hockey teams, but they're not. They're not professional hockey teams. They're just, I guess, two local teams.
All right. That's hockey. That's too much hockey talk.
No, I know, and you don't care about that, but I look
No.
at it and I go, "Is this supposed to be Detroit, Chicago?" Okay.
Now, see, I would say it's the unfunniest scene because of when he grabs the little man and slams him on the ground and starts kicking him repeatedly.
Oh yeah.
And
Nobody has a problem with it.
And no one really jumps up and tries to stop him from what looks like
him pummeling a
newborn, a 1-year-old. Yeah, I mean, as much as I like off humor, it's almost, you know what it reminds me of? The Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan.
Oh,
there's the one scene where like he's like knocking over. He hits the old lady. That's what it is. He's dangling from the balloon.
Right.
And like he does something so the old lady falls, or he knocks her over or something, and she falls and it sounds like a sack of potatoes hitting the ground. Boom. And she's old and she's face first, and all I can think is, that's not funny. That old lady just fell. Jackie, what? I mean, the blind guy falling down the stairs, that was kind of funny. But this is an old lady falling face first, and it sounds like a sack of potatoes. It's the same thing. All right, I'm not saying it's bad taste. I'm just saying, where did you think this was funny?
Who the hell knows?
Then there's the wiping his ass with the cookie.
Yes, repeatedly. He goes under each arm, front, then goes to the back. It's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in their mind, this is where the audience is laughing so hard that you keep running with it. I don't. And then the shitting his pants scene.
Yep.
Which is, since you're not seeing him do it, it's literally like a whole minute of him just making faces.
Yep.
Literally, I'm timing it. It's a minute, minute and a half. Oh.
Even Dumb and Dumber. Just the faces alone. They do that any chance they get.
Even the shitting scene in Dumb and Dumber, even that's like 20 seconds max.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They cap the humors. All right, now it's not funny.
Got to stay regular. They're immediately funny.
I mean, here's the. I mean, there's not much else. The taking out the trash on this is the important part.
So you actually have trash to take out,
dude? Yeah.
I mean, no, because in my opinion, aren't we starting with a whole new film?
No. Well, yes and no.
There's a way to make this right.
Yes, there's a way to make this right.
Because I can't think of it.
Dude, I've got it. I'm here for you.
All right.
Here's my taking out the trash.
Lay it on me.
You keep the midget acting as a baby.
Okay.
All right. We can keep half of the jokes there. Half of those jokes, if done properly, will be funny. What's not funny is that it's so removed from the reality, the fact, like you said, that these people actually think this is a baby. And the whole finding the baby on the doorstep thing, it's too fucking, for a movie with enough adult humor in it, it's too kids film logic. So let's remove Tracy Morgan, put him in a wood chipper. Okay. Let's have Sean Wayans as his accomplice.
Okay.
Let's keep the midget gets out of prison.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep we need to do a scam, or so we need to make some money. Lose Chaz Palminteri. Let him go do another gangster film. Lose the diamond. Talk about lazy fucking screenwriting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everything about this film is lazy fucking screenwriting. And if you're really dedicated to the midget playing a baby thing, run a con.
Sure.
Run a con. I don't even know what kind of con, but run a con where he's a single father. That's his kid, and they're getting involved in some kind of let's say baby beauty pageant because there's a cash prize. They're going to steal that, or they're just using it to get in with all these other families to get into their homes. Something like that. Some kind of con where they're just trying to get in there. And then you can have the baby like looking up information on the computers or what have you. There's a con going, but make it the kind of con where the guy's in on it, and then he meets the single mother or something, and they start getting to know each other, and then there's your love interest right there.
Okay.
And then you could have all the other idiot people running around that don't realize it's an adult in baby costume, acting with the kid. But since their interactions with the child is more on a social level, or an impersonal level because they don't know each other that well, then you can do that. And,
Okay,
and
I'm following you.
you know what it is? Take the basic idea behind what was that Johnny Knoxville film where he pretends to be retarded
Oh,
for the Special Olympics? What's it called? Special?
I
Not special. It's
no, I'm gonna look it up.
It's
You
just-
keep talking.
but you take that basic idea and just change it into the baby thing, and it'll play itself.
Oh yeah, I'm following you.
And you know what? Even get the mongrel baby CGI thing interacting with other real baby actors to get more, and make it more like getting reactions from real kids,
Okay.
which they had the opportunity to do in this film and didn't do it because I guess they couldn't afford child actors. So I guarantee you do that and you actually spend time writing the script instead of just making it up as you go along.
Mm-hmm.
Or throwing in the fucking we have to find the diamond because the gangsters are going to break our legs thing.
Oh god, yeah. The film was called The Ringer.
The Ringer, there you go, which was surprisingly good.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't?
I haven't seen it.
It's worth it. I like Johnny Knoxville. I hate to say it, but I like.
I like him too.
Yeah,
And that's I also hate to admit that.
it's a fun movie, and the weird thing about that, The Ringer, is that there's one or two actors playing mentally handicapped people, but but a lot of them are actually mentally or not. You know what I mean? Not mentally. Yeah, mentally handicapped, retarded, whatever you want to call it. But they have actual. I'm not saying that's a mean thing.
I understand.
They keep changing the name.
It is a real term.
They keep changing the name, so I'm not sure what to say. But
yeah, no, it's
But a lot
I think it's mentally challenged now.
But what?
I think it's mentally challenged now.
See, that sounds like
See, the problem is
sounds like a game show.
Well, if you have Down syndrome,
Yeah.
where you're missing the chromosome, or I'm sorry, you have the extra chromosome. That's I believe you're supposed to refer to them as having Down syndrome, not retarded. I don't know if retarded is even used anymore in
it's not
in a politically correct way.
It's not, but again, I'm sure they don't all have the same problem in this group.
They don't.
You're
right.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, there's Johnny Knoxville pretending to be, but then there's like one or two actors in the group that are real actors pretending to be as well, but pretending not to be pretending.
Right.
And then they have actual like Down syndrome and mentally challenged. Again, that sounds like a game show. I can't use that. Actors in there, and
they should have a game show called Mentally Challenged.
Yeah, right. Dude, let's get on that right now.
Let's do it.
I recommend it. It's a fun movie. But again, that kind of approach would have saved Little Man. But honestly, it's not the CGI mentioned that ruins the film. It's the fact that the film has no real semblance of a intelligent, humorous screenplay.
No, I agree.
These comedic actors are working with nothing.
They're really, there's talent there, but it's not being used at all.
You know what it is? When you get a grumpy old black man father-in-law character, like your Sanford and Son, Richard Pryor kind of character,
right.
And as try as he might, he can't be funny, you're lost. Because that should be instant laughs. It played right.
Yeah. He's usually funny, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of these people are usually funny.
I mean, what was he? He was in the House Party movies, I believe.
I never saw any of those.
I think he was in all of those, actually.
Yeah, I never saw any of those.
But I thought the first one was funny.
Oh.
Well, anyway. All right, so that's your taking out the trash?
Yeah. Oh, I can't think of anything funnier than a rectal thermometer.
That basically looked like... And what's with him trying to rape every woman that walks into the scene, and no one is like, that's kind of weird.
There's nothing funnier than sexual assault and ass humor.
Yeah. Now, and the thing is too, when they first take his diaper off the first time, and
that honestly, that's the closest I came to laughing. But again, the fact that it's so. If it had been subtler, it would have been funny.
I think so.
But they had to do like the POV shot, and it had to be everyone like goes, "Oh my!"
Oh my! What the girth is that?
If there had been a more subtle reaction, like if they just showed her changing the diaper and you watch the expression on her face change,
Right.
And like, oh, never mind. You know, there's so many different ways you could have done that and have it actually be funny. The concept itself is funny. The delivery is not.
Yes.
And I love the fact that when you go on IMDb, there's no trivia for this movie.
Oh, there isn't?
No, I was like, let me do some research. Like, no, nothing. So I'm not doing anything more than that. That's it.
And I think its IMDb rating is 2 out of 10.
3.7 actually.
Little Man?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Birdemic. That's 2 out of 10.
Oh, dude.